Hi, y'all. I'm Sophia. I'm a homeschooled sophomore in high school, and today I'm going to be walking us through daily devotions. Today we're in Genesis 9, 8 through 17. For just a little bit of context, chapter 9 really just builds on chapter 8, where Noah offers a sacrifice to God out of gratitude for bringing him and his family through the flood. Then we see God respond to this sacrifice by instituting a covenant with Noah. And chapter 9 really just talks about the special symbol that God uses to seal this covenant promise that he makes, and it's a rainbow. So it's a really big passage, so you should definitely read it yourself to get an idea of what we're talking about. I'm going to zone in on verses 14 through 16, and what I see in these verses is that God is sovereign, but at the same time, he cares about us and our life and what we're going through. Verse 14, he says, "When I bring the clouds." Now, obviously, he's talking about like literal physical clouds, but in our lives, there are also storms that we go through. And they're hard when you go through them, but when you look back, you can see the ways that God refined you and brought you closer to him. And so God allows storms and sometimes brings them for our good. I definitely think of Jesus when he was on the lake with the disciples, and obviously he demonstrated his complete authority over creation by telling the wind and waves to be still, and they were. But at the same time, he showed his awareness of the spiritual needs of the disciples, and he said, "Why do you doubt, O you of little faith?" And it took him allowing this storm for the disciples to see where they needed to grow in their walk with the Lord. So God brings and allows storms for our good because he loves us. And ultimately, he will be glorified. In verses 15 and 16, he said, "I remember this everlasting covenant that I make with you forever and ever." And God is faithful. He's not like us. 2 Timothy 2:13 says, "If we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot deny himself." So every covenant that he makes, starting with this one in the Bible and throughout the entire scripture, God makes promises to his people. And we can depend on these promises because we know that his character is faithful and he doesn't change. So I would encourage you today to, instead of looking at the storm clouds that might be surrounding your mind and your heart and your circumstances, I would encourage you to look into Scripture and see the precious and very great promises that Lord has made to you as a Christian. Just like during a storm, we can look up and see a rainbow. I would just like to tell y'all to read Isaiah 54, 9 through 10. It's a really tender promise from the Lord just about this passage. I love you guys, and I hope I can see you soon.